In this video, you'll learn how to record attendance hours for an individual rather than taking attendance for a class. Attendance is usually added for all students in a class at once. Staff with SiD Admin privileges can also add hours directly to a student record on their Time tab. If you have just a few missed hours for one person, this method is a little faster. The first step is to locate the student record. On the Students tab, use the search boxes to find the student. Then click the Name row. On the Student Summary screen, click the Time tab. This page shows all the hours a student has earned at your site. We'll use the form at the top of the page to add time rows. In the Date box, type the date the hours were earned. The Time type box defaults to Contact, which is the most common. The menu shows other time types you may use in your program. Choose the one that fits the kind of hours you're recording. The Class menu shows the classes the student is registered for on the date you typed and the time type you selected. It also shows the times the class is open. If the menu is missing a class that you know was open on the date you typed, make sure you chose the right time type. The start time defaults to noon. Adjust it to the actual time the student started working in class that day. You can record time for an hour before and an hour after the scheduled time. If you get outside of that range, you're going to get an error message. In the Hours field, type the number of hours in decimal format. Click Save to finish creating the new time row. As a rule, hours should always be recorded on the date the student was in class. But distance learning, or DL proxy hours, are different. The MDE allows programs to record distance learning hours monthly. Most ABE programs record DL hours as one chunk of time on the last day of the month. Here's how to add monthly distance learning hours. In the form, type the desired date, usually the last day of the month. From the Time Type menu, choose Distance Learning. Select the name of the specially designated DL class from the Class menu. When entering DL hours, you can leave the default start time. Enter the number of hours in decimal format. A maximum of 30 hours may be entered on any one day. When a student has more than 30 hours for the month, spread the time over as many days in the month as necessary. Click Save to finish creating the new time row. When the student hours are not linked to any class, you can enter them as block time. Your program may record student counseling or orientation hours as block time. In general, assigning hours to a class is preferred over block time. In the form on the Students' Time tab, type the desired date. Choose the correct time type from the menu options. From the Class menu, click Block Time. Adjust the start time to the actual time the student started their counseling, orientation, or testing session. Enter the number of hours in decimal format. Click the Save button to finish creating a new time row. Even with your amazing SiD Admin superpowers, there are some attendance entry rules you can't get around. You may see a message that says, "Student has no valid NRS test." At that point, SiD won't allow you to enter any more time for that student. Here's what that message means. Academic students need a valid pretest for the current NRS program year. Students who don't have a valid pretest are limited to less than 12 hours of attendance for the entire year. We call this the 12-hour lockdown. So how do you fix that? The student should be pretested immediately. After the score is added to SiD, you can resume entering attendance for the student. There's also a guideline called the 1-month lockdown. Program staff can only add, edit, and delete attendance for the current month and 1 month prior. You may see an error message that looks like this. Attendance prior to some date cannot be entered. Contact SiD support for assistance. If your staff missed entering a few older hours, or you need to edit existing hours, we don't have a way to allow you to fix them. Instead, SiD support staff will adjust them for you. Send us a message at the email address on the screen and we'll take care of it. That's it for adding attendance for an individual.